Trey. Rocky was just in here. He said he's nervous. A lot of freshmen, fearful what might happen in 2013, where a similar freshman-laden team lost to Illinois, Eastern Illinois to open the season.
Yeah.
Are you nervous like coach, or are you the other way, fully confident?
I mean, I'm not really nervous to say, but I mean, it's definitely a challenge with as young as we are, especially in the DB group as well. With Tariq Thompson, Trenton Thompson, not very experienced, but they're plenty talented. But I have confidence in them.
Christian, how about you on that?
I'm just excited. I know we are young, but I'm excited to see what we're all about and what we bring to the table. That first game, I think, always shows you something about you, so I'm excited to see what we can do.
Where did you think your offensive line might have made the biggest jump from spring, the young guys that you have there?
I think midway through camp, after we got a few scrimmages underneath our belt, that you kind of started seeing the guys growing, getting used to the group that was in there. We did rotations in certain 1s and 2s, and once they finally got cemented a group in there with the right guys, and they kind of got a feel with each other and slowly starting to get better. But I kind of want to see them in live action and see how they do.
Hey guys, camp is long, from spring to now. How excited are you guys? Kind of stop all the talking, stop all the playing each other, and just get out there. What the excitement level among the team to go out and actually hit someone else, play a game in the stadium formerly known as Sdsu?
We didn't come here to lift weights and run. We came here to play ball. So it's good to finally get out there and play some ball this weekend. We've been waiting all year for it and just ready to get going again.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting to finally be able to hit someone else. So, I mean, the off season, it gets repetitive after a while. You're in there running, lifting, and it's the same thing pretty much for the whole off season. Then you get into camp and you kind of start to get back into it. But to finally have the opportunity to hit someone else is going to be exciting.
For both of you guys, when you go 11-3 and win a couple of bowl games, the way you have, I mean, the expectations, people talking about this team. What have you personally heard people saying about this year's Aztec team and what people expect from you guys?
I mean, we've heard the good and the bad. We hear people talking about, there's always the preseason accolade stuff. Us, the unanimous of us winning our side of the division and our side of the conference, and the preseason accolades people are getting. But ultimately that's all preseason, so you try not to pay too much attention to that stuff. But I mean, we're excited. We know we have a lot of talent. We're not as experienced as we have been, but we know the talent's there. So it's just a matter of everyone doing their 1/11th when you're out there on the field and playing your part, and then the rest will take care of itself.
I mean, I think the expectation here is kind of set now. We win ball games. So even though the team is young, we're expected to win. And I just, we go out there, take it one play at a time, and they know what we got to do to get it done.
Christian, as the offensive line finds its footing, how much more evidence do you think that puts on you in the passing game early on?
It's going to be very helpful. I mean, them slowly. I think it's going to take a few games when they actually start molding and actually get it right. But as of now, I'm thinking they've made some strides, some huge strides, and they're excited. They know the expectation. A lot of pressure's on them. Replacing some big guys that we had. So I'm excited to see them. I've talked to the boys, and they're ready for it.
Do you think there'll be more on the passing? The passing is approach running early on because of that?
It's more of a game plan thing. Who we're playing, what they show us, how they're gonna. If they're gonna stack the box, we're gonna have to throw. But if they don't, line it up, we're gonna run it with Penny.
Do they stack? Does your defense in practice stack the line much? 10 guys, just to give you guys that look, like on scout team type stuff. Do you see that much?
A little bit. I feel like this camp probably more than past camps. They've run a lot of zero, brought a lot of blitzes, a lot of man stuff. So every time you're in man, you're going to bring a blitz. So I felt that a lot more this camp. But they switch it up on us. I mean, they'll run some zone, cover 2, some of that stuff. And I think Trey could say the same. They've been bringing a lot more of that this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're pretty much, once Coach Long or Coach G calls the defense, it's basically whatever they come out in. So, if they're coming out in a 21 personnel or 22 with two running backs, 2 tight ends, and we're going to be stacked around the box. So I'm sure it helps both of us. It helps us as a defense, going against our offense, because we know, if we ever do come across a team that's going to try to pound the ball on us, we're going to have experience with it going against our offense every day. And then, for them to go against our defense as exotic as it is with Coach Long and all the schemes and blitzes and stuff that we show, and that we give them the opportunity to practice against. I feel like it's good for them because then when they go into a game, the defense they're playing hopefully won't be as complicated and won't be as hard to decipher.
Christian, what do you think your biggest takeaway was from your sophomore season that you'll bring into this junior season?
I think I'm going to be able to kind of open up more and kind of change plays on my own now and kind of full-on take over this offense. I mean, I think back then I was more in a kind of coaches kept it a little basic for me, I guess you would say. Not as much checks, not as much this, that. But looking at the game plan now, they're giving me a lot more like opportunity to check some things. They have a lot more confidence in me to do some things. So I think we're going to open up a little bit, and they're going to give me kind of full reins coming into the season.
Were you surprised when you looked at the depth chart and you saw Isaiah and Tim, kind of jump to the top, or is that something that you kind of saw?
I saw the potential in them, but the way they've been practicing, they've been practicing really well. I mean, they've been making catches. They've grown a lot since their freshman year, like the route running and everything, and they've kind of matured too. I think it takes a year kind of to mature and get underneath you, and I just seen growth from them, and I just expect them to keep getting better.
Yeah, to add on what he says, it's not like it was like an overnight thing. The all camp, those guys were, working hard. So you see the progress they've made, and then, defensively we don't pay as much attention to the depth chart on the offense, but once we did see them getting reps to the ones, it wasn't that much of a surprise just because how well they've been doing during camp, and they're committed to blocking, which is a huge thing. If you're not going to block on our offense, you're not going to play. It doesn't matter what position you are. So, yeah.
How tough is it to cover a guy like that who's 6'4", 6'5", that's got the reach and the jump that they do?
Well, luckily they line up outside, so I'm usually covering the slot guys, so I don't really have to worry about their size and stuff like that. But I can imagine, even Fred Treville, our receivers are pretty big this year. We got a couple guys that are, 6'3" plus, and they can all run and jump. So, it's definitely challenging with a guy like that, guys like that, and luckily we're having them on our side.
Hey Trey, at Media Day, I talked to you about getting your degree and everything you're doing academically. Yeah. What's your reaction for someone who's achieved a lot in the classroom to what Josh Rosen's, the UCLA quarterback's comment said that football, Division I football and going to school don't mix? Do you have any reaction to that, and what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I understand where he's coming from. I don't want to get too in depth with it because I don't want to get thrown into that fire, but I understand where he's coming from, I guess, how demanding it is to have a full, college academic, workload, and then to still on the side have to deal with, football workouts and everything. It's definitely challenging. So I understand where he's coming from, but yeah, that's all I'll probably say about it.
What's your keys? How did you succeed in doing both? I
mean, if you really just learn how to, break up your time and commit and really work to make things happen, it's not too challenging. If you really work out your schedule, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna read this, I'm gonna get this assignment done, beforehand, and not try to push everything last minute. I'm gonna make it a little bit easier. It's not gonna be easy at all, but it's definitely something that can be done successfully.
Do you guys have any special things you do before the first game? I mean, I know there's a lot of excitement. Any special routines the night before, things to help you get kind of focused on the game? Just
for the first game, or just games in general? I mean, it's pretty much. I treat it pretty much like every other week. I mean, we're in the hotel the night before, so watch as much film as you can, hydrate a lot, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let's go over the game plan. Me and the other quarterbacks will read over the game plan, go through the card calls, stuff like that, just kind of refresh our minds and look over, and if we see any issues, we'll talk to coach about it, but that's pretty much what I do.